interior decoration is a chapter which comes under the branch of family resource management, which mainly explains about interior decoration, the organized way of arranging the things that are in the home. So this chapter has the objectives which enables us to understand the fundamental objectives of interior decoration, learn the fundamental of arts, understand the use of color in interiors, learn the different color harmonies in interiors. Introduction. In designing the interior of a home, it is very important to keep in mind the idea that home is a special abode for setting a happy family life. A home has to be beautiful from inside and outside. It should express aesthetics, good ambience, expressiveness, and reflect the personality of the family members. So home is definitely a special place where we consider it as one of the basic need, shelter. And it is a place where you try relaxing, you share your joys and sorrows, and also get protected from the nature or atmosphere. Obviously, so that place has to be good, calm, quiet, and it should express yourself, and it reflects the personality of all the family members who resides in it. The purpose of interior decoration is to make homes livable by enhancing the appearance of interiors by combining beauty and functionalism. It gives scope to the individual and other members to express their personality, aesthetic taste through selection of furniture, furnishings, and accessories. Art and beauty becomes a part of our life. Few people are born with good taste, and others can acquire it through constant effort, experience, and training. It is not mandatory that you are very much aware about interior decoration. Just like as I said now, some people have a very good taste, but later you can learn it through constant effort, experience, or training. Objectives of interior decoration. A simple house can be made to look attractive by decorating its interior tastefully. Interior decoration is an art of adjusting the space and equipment to suit the fundamental and cultural needs of the family members, and thus creating a pleasant atmosphere. The appearance of the home should be worthy of its purpose, that is to provide proper opportunities to develop physical, emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual aspects of the family members. Interior decoration should have the following objectives. There are three objectives. First one is beauty, second expressiveness, and third functionalism. Beauty. Art is the man-made expression of something that is beautiful. Beauty is the combination of qualities that is pleasing to the trained eye or ear. Beauty is an element or quality which pleases the senses and uplifts the spirit. So beauty is something that you see or feel and are felt by your senses. Study of art elements and principles develops an ability to judge the appearance of all objects. Beauty can be found everywhere. Whenever one says that something is artistic, he or she usually implies that man has made something which is beautiful. The process involved in this accomplishment is organization, selection, and arrangement of materials to create a new form. Secondly, expressiveness. One way to approach the subject of selecting, decorating, and furnishing a home is to express some definite idea or theme in it. So whenever we construct a building or a house, definitely we try implying our ideas and thought in it, and also our desires, exactly how the internal and external structure appears. We try implying some of the theme to it or idea to it, especially if some are very much fond of nature, they try portraying more of towards the gardening, or if they are very much interested towards some of the mechanicals or technicals, they try implying those technique or mechanic things to the interiors or the external structure of the house. The most interesting homes, large or small, are those that are consistent throughout. Definitely, it defines how firm the foundation of the house is or about the construction. Some of the ideas that are expressed in homes, consciously or unconsciously, are naturalness. So, first thing, we give heed to naturalness, sophistication, intimacy, formality, warmth, repose, coolness, delicacy, strength, and freshness. The personality of the owner determines the idea to be expressed in a home. Obviously, we judge the owner or the person, whoever has constructed, based on the personality. The construction portrays that person's personality. Functionalism. Functionalism means the design of an object should suit the purpose for which it is made. A functional home should provide maximum comfort, service, and pleasure in return for the minimum care. Every phase of home planning and furnishing should be based on functionalism. The number of rooms and the arrangement will depend on what will best serve the family. Outdoor areas are also divided according to function, with places to lounge, eat, play, exercise, and garden. So one particular construction of the house for what usage you are making, that counts. So if it is dining, definitely we have to use it to sit and eat food. Lounge, where you sit and relax or watch TV. Bedrooms, where you try going and relaxing for some time or take a nap or have a sleep. So this image depicts one particular place, how it can be used for different purposes and for what function do you use and how you make utilize of it. Furniture is arranged in functional ways for study, reading, conversation, writing, music, or entertainment. So furnitures can be used for different purposes and for different functions, just like it was mentioned now in the sentence. The selection of individual articles should be governed by a critical judgment of how well they fulfill their functions. Form should follow function as well. Materials too should follow function. Garden furnitures should be waterproof. Upholstery fabric should be durable. Function sometimes must be modified for the sake of appearance and integration of beauty. So the usage of interiors, especially with furnitures or decor or cushioning or curtains that are used, you should make sure for what purpose you are using it. Just like it was mentioned, if you are arranging some of the furnitures in the outdoor or in the garden, we should make sure that it is waterproof. Or upholstery fabric, if it is designed interior, then we should make sure that is quite durable. Coming to the elements of art, good design is an essential part of art. The word art means the application of skill and taste to the production of beautiful things. The element art are the rudiments with which an artist works whatever his or her form of art may be. The relationship between the components of a design gives it individuality. It is therefore impossible to look at any particular design as a unit or as whole without considering the effect of interior relationships between them. The elements of art are line, form, texture, color, pattern, light, and space. Just like these images depicts, these are some 7 elements of art: line, shape, form, space, texture, value, and color. The first element of art, that is line. Line is an important element. It is a series of points joined together. Sometimes line is so much part of form that it is difficult to consider them separately. Before the artist begins to paint, he or she establishes the line directions of his or her painting on canvas or paper. So to build a form, definitely we need line. Without line, form doesn't exist. He or she combines horizontal, vertical, diagonal, and curved lines until the effect is pleasing to the eye. Likewise, the architect and the interior decorator must organize and combine lines before they can create beauty in a building or in a room. Lines have positive emotional significance depending upon their direction and their quality. Man has associated definite elementary ideas with certain lines because position of his own body has suggested these ideas. So dorsal, ventral, sideline, the very own position of our body defines exactly about the lines. To learn about the different kinds of lines, first one, the vertical lines. Vertical line generally adds length or height to an object and makes it appear narrow or even taller. Vertical lines are formal and create a feeling of strength and regularity, especially when repeated. Vertical lines suggest life, activity, dignity, strength, and discipline. They are undoubtedly associated in our minds with an upright position of a person, thus signifying alertness. It also expresses a state of equilibrium with the force of gravity. It is likely to be dignified and masculine, so it mainly portrays equilibrium in the sense there is no any fluctuation or wavering, and mainly it denotes dignification, or even it resembles the masculine gender for its strength and stiffness. In homes, the vertical lines of doorways, draperies, and furniture gives the necessary strength to a room. Obviously, the roofing or even a base or all the pillars that we give as a support to the construction mainly helps in making the construction look much more rigid and strong. Doorways, draperies, and furniture definitely needs vertical lines to form an element or give a shape. Second is horizontal lines. Horizontal lines create a feeling of relaxation and informality. So vertical lines was quite formal. Here horizontal lines are informal, probably because a horizontal position is associated with sleeping and relaxing. Vertical lines are abrupt, they are straight, and here horizontal lines are in the sleeping position and relaxing. They lend an atmosphere of tranquility, stability, calmness, and freedom from disturbances. For the reason it is a sign of relaxation. Just as vertical lines add height, horizontal lines tend to increase the width of the room. They help to break the effect of vertical lines in homes. The horizontal lines of tables and other furnitures complement the vertical lines in other part of the room. So, as vertical lines add rigidness and strength to the construction, here horizontal line complement the vertical line. If a furniture has to be made or if a table has to be made, definitely we need something called in a sleeping position as well. So it complements the vertical lines and it increases the width of the room. There the vertical line, it appears as though it is tall and narrow, but here in horizontal lines it appears to be quite broad and increases the width. Diagonal lines, these are lines of action, suggest movement and force. These are lines of action disturbing the disciplines of straight line and solidity of horizontal lines. So horizontal line, it disturbs the vertical line. Now here this diagonal line, what it does, it disturbs both horizontal and vertical lines. Forward slanting lines suggest push and backward slanting lines pull, as it is shown here in the images. Diagonal lines may lend a feeling of sophistication and refinement to a room, thereby arousing interest in homes. They are often found in staircases and in some fabrics. So this diagonal lines, they apply in making some of the staircases and also in designing some of the fabric construction. Curved lines are feminine, just like vertical line, it was used for masculine. Here curved lines, they use it to feminine, graceful and subtle in effect. Curved lines may form a transition between the abrupt joining of vertical and horizontal lines, such as that which are formed by tiebacks, window curtains, in arches, and in the graceful curves of furniture. So where and all we apply this curve, as it is mentioned, we try it in tiebacks, in window curtains, in arches, and in the graceful curves of furnitures. The second element of art is shape or form. As it is mentioned, without line, form doesn't exist. So the term shape or form generally applies to 2 or 3 dimensional areas or shapes. Form and lines are closely related with each other. Lines combine together to give rise to a particular form. Just like here, a vertical line, a horizontal line or diagonal line giving rise to one structure or one kind of a form. Form is the most important element in house planning. Without beauty of form, excellent color and decorations are of no use. So without line, form doesn't exist. So if you don't have a proper form, then the color and decoration that is applied to interior decoration will go a mean waste. The form of an object should suit its function and should be strongly influenced by the material with which it is made. Harmony of form is essential in assembling furnishings. A dominance of one kind of form or shape unifies the total effect. Texture is another element. The word texture generally refers to the tactile quality of the surface of any object. In ordinary usage, texture refers to the qualities that are perceptible through the sense of touch. So here it is just our touch and our feeling towards an object, exactly how we feel. Texture is an element of art that is valuable in giving character and beauty to objects in interiors, buildings and landscapes, gardening. Texture can be rough, smooth, shiny, dull. So these are some of the kinds of textures. It can be rough, it can be smooth, it can be shiny, it can be dull, it can be soft or even stiff, etc. In home furnishing, the word texture may be used in a wider sense and refers to the finish of wall rugs or other floor coverings. Woodwork, painting, ceramics and any other surfaces in the room, we mainly concentrate on texture. The texture of the materials used in interior decoration is also the result of light, as some part of the material absorbs light while some other part reflects it. So texture definitely has a major role in emitting light as well. Color. Color is the quality which an object acquires only when light falls on it. So light serves as a medium which helps to see an object. Appreciation of color is largely an emotional process and is felt by nearly everyone. Colors elicit certain emotions, moods and physical feelings. Because of this impact, choosing the right color for interior is important. Color has the ability to transform a drab interior into an interesting one. Definitely color shows our emotions and we interact to it as well. If we have a colorful atmosphere, we just try enjoying it with joy. And obviously at the time of sadness or at the time of sorrowness, what we do, we portray some of the dull colors or even white or black can also be shown. Next element, pattern or design. Pattern helps to remove the monotony of various rooms. Pattern helps to create the feeling of thrill and movement. The amount of pattern in a room should not be more than 25% of the total area. This is one criteria we have to consider when we apply this element of art, that is particularly pattern or even a design. Only 25% of that particular area should comprise of pattern, for the reason it gives you a feeling of thrill and movement. If 100% of pattern is applied, definitely it disturbs the mind. It refers to any sort of extrinsic surface enrichment and it applies to both two-dimensional. So here it can be horizontal combination of horizontal line, vertical line or even diagonal lines and curved lines, which mainly helps in forming a pattern. Coming to the design. A design is defined as an orderly arrangement of lines, forms, color, texture, etc. So all elements are put together here. Creating beauty, again the principle of interior decoration, beauty, functionalism and expressiveness is very important. Designs are mainly of two types. The first one is the structural design. It denotes the structure or construction of object. It is made of size, form, color, texture, etc. So structural design, we definitely need size, we need a form, we need color and texture. Decorative design, it is the surface enrichment of the structural design. Any lines, color or material that have been applied to the structural design for a purpose of adding richer quality to it constitutes its decorative design. So here in this image you can notice, first structure is important. So you build a structure and then you apply color or texture to it. So here you can easily differentiate between a structural design and a decorative. There are some of the units of design. Naturalistic motifs. These designs represent nature as such as flowers, leaves, fruits, animals, landscapes, etc. They are mainly from the nature. Nothing artificial is added to it. And our stylized motifs, they do not look pictures of natural objects. Usually the lines are simplified and conventionalized or distorted. So here some style is applied to the natural object. Geometric motifs are based on the pure forms of the circle, rectangle and triangle, although endless variation and combinations of them are used. So here you can easily make out the first one here, green leaves are naturalistic motifs. The second one with the peacock is the stylized motifs. And you have another image just below where you have some triangles or rectangles, incorporation of those angles together giving rise to some kind of design, so that you can consider it as geometric motifs. And abstract motifs. Many abstract designs are based on geometric forms. The shapes and pattern, although derived from geometric, are less rigid and informal than in any other design. So here in abstract motif, it is not formal, it is mainly informal, giving rise to one kind of a structure mainly by utilizing some of the geometric motifs. Here you can make sure that they are using some of the circles with some curved lines to it. Light is an artistic as well as an utilitarian element where we use it in our day-to-day life. Lighting in interiors is important for good visibility to enhance the beauty of design and materials as well as for good health. Light mainly enables us to see an object. It serves as a medium for us to see an object. Daytime we use the natural light and during night we use some of the artificial sources. So good illumination of a room is needed for various activities like reading, writing, cooking, etc. The light in the house during daytime is received from the sunlight and at night through artificial sources, as I mentioned. These sources of light can alter the color and texture of the various surfaces in the interior. So if the room is colored in dark color, so definitely it emits more heat in the room. Lighter the color, the coolness will be added to it along with the projection of light. So one suggestion is that if the room is quite big, then use brighter lights in order to bring some warmth effect and vice versa. Two kinds of lights, one is natural light and the other one is artificial light. Natural light enters the room through the doors and windows. The duration and amount of light varies with the time and season. So during summers we try having natural light for long. Winters we have a very less natural light, and even during rainy season. Artificial light. The artificial light is also equally important with regard to decoration. The artificial light creates an effect of unity in room by spreading its rays all around. So when natural light is not available, definitely we make use of the artificial sources or artificial light. Another element is space. Organization of space is basic in architecture and interior decoration. In interiors, appreciation of space is the cause of using a small amount of furniture and concentrating it in groups so that there can be some empty. Silent places in the rooms, an illusion of enhanced space can be created by manipulating the various elements of art. Illusion of space in-home interiors can be created by. So how you can exactly create an illusion? We need some space in spite of the furnitures that are arranged interior. So how do you add illusion of space in home interiors? The first one is built-in furnitures. Rather than getting it from outside or getting it transported, after construction, built-in furnitures can be made by usage of interior decoration where it is fixed to one single place. And then neutral colors, by usage of neutral colors, even then the space can be increased. And use of limited colors too can produce a feeling of a space, and smooth textures will make it look a little bit broader. And then adequate light, enough of light also adds space. And use of mirrors, so use of mirrors also adds illusion to the space. As we continue principles of design, to create beautiful things consistently, one has to realize that selection of certain elements like line, color, form, texture, pattern, etc. should be arranged orderly to create design that conforms to certain standards. These guidelines for creating designs might have eventually taken the term principles of design. Previously, we discussed about the elements of art. Here in principles of design is nothing but the right selection of elements of art in creating a beautiful design. Certain principles of design or arrangements are common to the space art of painting, sculpture, architecture, handicrafts, industrial arts, and related arts. These principles of design are not formulas for creating beauty, but they do help in determining why an object is artistically good or poor. Almost anyone can acquire a dependable standard of taste through experience with the principles of design and can become more and more sensitive to design to express beauty. Some of the principles of interior design are: first one, proportion; second, balance; third, emphasis; fourth, rhythm; and fifth, harmony. To begin with the first principle of design, proportion. Proportion means the relationship of sizes or areas to one another or to a whole. Relationship of the sizes or areas to one another or to a whole, relation between parts of the same thing should be satisfying. Therefore, it is called as the law of relationship. It states the relation between parts of the same things or between different things of the same group should be satisfying. It deals with relationship in size, shape, color, light, texture, and pattern. So some of the elements of art are utilized in creating a proper proportion. The appearance of the exterior of a house is due to its proportions. First, the total mass, which depends on the height in relation to the length, then the proportion of roof, walls, foundation, and finally the relationship of doors, windows, and other elements that must be organized into a unified whole. The shape of rooms and of every article of home furnishing should be judged by their proportion. So externally and internally, the right proportion usage in the construction of house depicts the proper principle of the design. So here you can just see the proportion in utilizing the color and in the arrangement of some of the furnitures and curtains. So 30% yellow color is used, 10% white color is used, and majorly 60% of a grey color is used. So here only one element of art utilization and bifurcated into different proportions can be taken into consideration for the example of proportion. So here proportion is usually not even noticed until something is out of proportion, when the relative size of two elements being compared seems wrong or out of balance. It is said to be out of proportion. For example, if a person has a head larger than their entire body, then we would say that they were out of proportion. So there is something called as bad proportion and as well as good proportion. Here equal division creates a monotony. Division to unequal creates a lack of harmony. So these are some of the picturization showing about the bad and the good proportion, and also how it creates a monotony and as well as lack of harmony by usage of the bad proportion. Balance. In interior decoration, balance plays a very important role. Balance is creating a feeling of repose or rest by arranging or grouping shapes and colors around the center in such a way that there are equal interactions on each side of that center. This principle brings overall stability to a design through the satisfying arrangement of its parts when the lines, colors and texture are placed so that a certain poise is established and the design appears restful or there is equal attraction on each side of the center. So balance definitely plays a major role in interior decoration. How exactly you arrange the things that are portrayed or kept in the home. So the types are formal balance. Here it creates a symmetrical balance, which means you arrange equal number on either side, mainly creating a mirror image. So it is also known as symmetrical balance. It is achieved when one side of something is exactly similar or mirror image of the other half. As it is shown here in the image, you have equal number of pillars having the same design and also equal number of furniture on either side with the same design, so which shows the mirror image. The color, line and space etc. must be identical or appear same on either side of an imaginary center. This equality develops a sense of dignity and calmness but sometimes becomes monotonous. Symmetrical balance tends to stress the center, creating a focal point for something one wishes to emphasize. Basically, symmetrical balance is simple and this simplicity in balance contributes to its popularity. Sometimes it may appear to be monotonous, but also it has enough of popularity and also has an ease in arrangement of things. The second type is informal balance. So there it was symmetrical and here it is asymmetrical balance. It is also referred to as asymmetrical balance. This balance results when objects of unequal weights are arranged at different distance away from the central point. There we focus on the focal point or the central point in formal balance, but here from the focal point the things are arranged in a far distant. This balance is created when the visual weights are equivalent but not identical. So lighter objects, we should make sure that it is kept in the center and heavier objects should be kept far away or placed further away. So that is about the balance. Rhythm as an art principle is defined as an organized movement used to create interest and movement and reduce the monotony. So it mainly helps in reducing the monotony. Rhythm means equality or regularity. In design, rhythm means an easy connected path along which the eye may travel in any arrangement of line, form or color. In a perfectly plain space, there is no movement. The moment some object is placed against the plane surface, the eye will begin to travel along the line of that object. This movement may be very restless, distracting and lacking in rhythm, or may be organized and easy. Rhythm is possible by the use of following types. So which are those types? They are repetition, gradation, continuous line movement. Repetition of lines, colors and shapes create interest and movement of the eye. So here the repetition of the objects that are used. So here we have used pillows in a repeated manner and also the cushions in a repeated manner. Some of the interior objects they have used in a repeated manner, just like those stands which are bearing some of the antique pieces. So repetition, which also enables us to create a movement or a rhythm in interior decoration. And gradation Gradation implies a sequence or a regular progression of object in a series. Objects of varying sizes can be arranged ascending or descending order of sizes to form a series. So here they have used lines from ascending to descending order or from descending to ascending order in a continuous movement. So from smaller to bigger size or bigger to smaller size can be used in the structure construction. So you can also notice some of the buildings or some of the constructions having designs of ascending order or descending order, especially the staircases, and also some of the arches from small to bigger size. Continuous line movements. Rhythm is also created through a continuous line movements in various structural elements. So here you can see continuous line movements creating some of the various structure or specially creating a rhythm. Emphasis. Emphasis is defined as the art principle by which the eye is carried first to the most important thing in any arrangement and from that point to any other detail in order of its importance. So whatever that you see, especially in interior decoration, one object or one thing that catches your eye or that catches your attention. Though a design or an arrangement may be well balanced, proportionate, and its contents in perfect harmony, it may be still dull and uninteresting. In spite of its merits, the eye will pass over it because there is no particular point to arrest the attention. So the function of emphasis is to arrest the attention of the eye, especially in regard with interior decoration. That arrangement lacks emphasis. The important is laid through the use of plain background, amount of background, space, and then allowed color contrast due to contrasting values, position of lines, grouping of objects, or amount of decoration. It may not only be the wall painting, sometimes even the usage of lights or even the usage of furnitures or the usage of color or wall paintings or even the zoomers, the lights that are used even can catch the attention of the eye. Harmony, another principle of design. Unity or single idea or impression that produce through the selection and arrangement of consistent object and ideas. So here harmony mainly helps in creating an impression of unity, and when all the objects in a group seems to have a strong family resemblance, that group illustrates the principles of harmony. Harmony can be created by using similar lines, shapes, size, texture, and color as it is mentioned here as types. So monotony developed by too much repetition should always be relieved by using contrast in proportionate amount. Harmony is created in the elements like, here are some of the images showing how to create harmony in line and then how to create harmony in texture. It is self-understood by the image itself. And then here harmony in color, example where they have used some of the blends of purple and blue, and here harmony in idea, so usage of mainly wood for interior decoration is the harmony in idea. Thank you.